Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Thursday, the 4th of January 2024. In today's Millwall news, we start off with this. Yes, Sky Sports Television have selected two of our games because obviously we've started playing well, started winning some games, so they've obviously had attracted a bit of interest, and they've chosen two of our games to put on their network. So two Millwall matches in February have been selected for live coverage on Sky Sports. This is from millwallfc.co.uk, the club's official website. Firstly, the Lions head to Coventry City on Sunday the 11th of February with kickoff set for 12 midday, and that was moved from 3 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. So that game has been moved a day and is now earlier. So if you want to go to that one, that's changed quite significantly. That was, what was that, 6 weeks away? So I guess now it's set, and you could probably buy your train tickets or whatever, make plans, whatever you're going to do. 3 days later, Wednesday the 14th of February, the cameras will be at the Den as Ipswich Town visit, which will, with the kickoff pushed back by 15 minutes to 8 p.m. So yeah, so that's not that same date. Just they moved it back by 15. I don't know if that affects anyone in terms of obviously getting home or what. But there you go. Two games on Sky. Now, moving on to this from southwarknews.co.uk. You have to give it the players massive credit. Joe Edwards provides detailed analysis on Mill's sudden turnaround in form. After one win in 12 games, the Lions have picked up 10 points from a possible 12 and suddenly have their tails up. Indeed. Joe Edwards believes Mill's resilient dressing room is the reason behind the club's unexpected return to form over Christmas. Having picked up just one win in 12 before their trip to Stoke City, the Lions have now won 3 of their last 4 and kept clean sheets in all of their festive games. The strong run of results has seen Mill rise up the championship table and ease fears that they were about to be dragged into a relegation dust-up in the second half of the season. Edwards has credited his players for not panicking and leading the transformation in form. He told News at Den, you have to give it to the players and massive credit for the mentality that they've shown. It's always a challenge when you have fixtures that close together. 4 games in 10 days. We went into it in a difficult place of not winning games and not being particularly pleased with our performance. And a fixture pile up like that can appear quite daunting, but that's where you find out the character of your group. We had a talk before the Stoke game of looking at it as a block of 4 games and the importance of keeping things simple. I stuck with the same system for all 4 games and I tried not to make too many changes to the team. But we spoke about that as a group, that we wanted to approach it in a real simple manner and just focus on making sure we got the basics right, which we had been lacking from our game a bit. They're all easy words to say, but then it's then about going out on the pitch and facing those challenges. And I thought the lads have been outstanding in their attitude and commitment to the games. In terms of how the players conducted themselves every day, no one panicked and everyone stuck together, which is important as it maintains that positive platform that enables you to quickly get into a good place like we have. The Lions have kept 4 clean sheets in a row for the first time since March 2022, and Edwards believes consistency has played a big role. We weren't able to work too intensely on the training pitch with the amount of fixtures we have, so we do a lot of work in the team meeting room at Calmont Road looking back at videos after each game, he said. I've said this since the day we came in and we've remained consistent with it. We always watch our own games back more than we watch footage of our opponents because it's important we get ourselves right. We found continuity with the system of play at the moment. Players' performance levels have raised in general. In some of the games in early December, we were giving chances and goals away from some simple errors. Fair play to the lads, they've cut those out. There's been some real solid defending of the box. Our goalkeeper Matty Sarkic has looked calm and assured when called upon, when collecting crosses or playing with his feet, but in terms of actual big saves, he's had to make very little. So that's a credit to the team on how we've defended as a unit. Arguably, the highlight of Christmas was the stirring atmosphere at the Den in the final 30 minutes of the 1-0 win over Norwich when Canary striker Ashley Barnes clashed with multiple Millwall players and wasn't sent off. Asked about replicating that atmosphere in Saturday's home clash with Leicester City in the FA Cup, Edwards said, I know there were some other factors such as Norwich being a night game. That in itself is a different Friday night game, by the way. That in itself is a different feel to Leicester being a 12:30 kickoff. So I acknowledge that. The way Ashley Barnes started provoking some of our players and the way we reacted definitely got everyone's back up, which is good for us. So there were some factors you can't count on for every game, but a clear and simple thing we know as a group is that when you show absolute commitment and you're willing to put your foot in and be seen to run and cover with everything you've got, and just show that level of fight for the fans, we know that often gets reciprocated. So that needs to be something we take on board and try and replicate as possible at home. The Lions, what? The Lions manager believes keeping things simple will be key in keeping the form up. We need to keep doing what we're doing and keep it simple, he added. In my first 7 or 8 games, we played a few different systems, moved people around here and there. I stated that I don't deliberately want to be that coach. If we can find a settled system, then great, and at the moment we've had that. You don't always get the luxury of players' performance levels drop or you get injuries, and sometimes I have to make changes, but we've been able to be consistent in the way we approach games. Whether it's Leicester or Middlesbrough after that, we'll continue to focus more on us. A lot of good stuff at Bristol City, but there's more we want to improve on, so we'll get back in and look at that clearly. We know it always won't be like this. At some point we're going to concede a goal, and at some point we're not going to win a game, so we'll have to remember the spirit and behaviours that got us through this difficult period and keep working towards the positive things we've seen in the last 4 games. So there you go, there's Joe Edwards there. Quite a long interview. And he's talking now about players signing. Are we going to sign any players? I told you in yesterday's video we've linked with a former Chelsea player and a current Chelsea youth player. Well, what is he looking for in a player that we're signing? Millwall boss reveals the 2 boxes any new signing would have to tick before coming to the Den. The transfer window opened at the beginning of January, but the Lions are not expected to do too much business. Joe Edwards has revealed speed and athleticism will be important factors considered before any players are brought to the Den this month. What, is Usain Bolt still looking for a club? Didn't he have a trial at Manchester United? How about that? Usain Bolt playing for Millwall? Yes, bruv. The transfer window opened at the beginning of January, and senior figures at Millwall have been consistent that fans should not expect too many incomings before the window closes on February the 1st. But Edwards has said that if any new players are signed, they will have to tick 2 boxes. Be crippled and be cheap. He told us it then. I won't go too deep into positions or anything like that, but for one of my observations now, I've been part of the league for the last couple of months, is that something I feel has increased in the last couple of years in the Championship is the level of athleticism and speed. Whatever positions of the pitch we do look at over the coming windows, whether that be January or the summer, I think adding athleticism and a bit of speed into the team is always important going forward. Asked whether he would be open to short-term loan moves this month, Edwards said, we know we can always add competition in your squad and get stronger, and if there are opportunities there for a player to come in on loan, it's not something we'll be averse to. It's all about that person to come in and make a positive impact, and will they fit in with our dressing room and our culture and not upset what we're doing right now. It's all got to be for positive reasons. So whether that's a loan or permanent, as long as it's adding to what we're doing, then we're open to it. Last January, Millwall signed Adomu Umaku, Duncan Watmore permanently, and picked up Oliver Burke on loan. So there you go. Oliver Burke for round 3. I do not hope so. Now, he would say this. Now, what can't you train? He's a coach. He's literally a coach. What can't you train? You can't train athleticism and you can't train speed. So if you give him a footballer who's come this far in their career so far, and they've got athleticism and they've got speed, he can do the rest. That's what I assume he's thinking. That he can train them, put them in a system and say, do this, and as long as they follow what he's doing, and he doesn't make it too complicated for them if they're a bit simple, then it's all well and good, you know what I mean? So, there you go. Now, moving on to this from the South London Press, londonnewsonline.co.uk. Enforced changes for the FA Cup tie against Leicester City. So there is going to be a bit of rotation, but who are we going to rotate? We don't have any players. Even the under-21s don't have any players. More on that later in the game they play today. Oh, jeez. So Millwall head coach Joe Edwards has admitted that his team selection may have enforced changes after the wear and tear of 4 championship games in quick succession over the Christmas period. The Lions are in fine fettle going to Saturday's FA Cup third round tie against Leicester City with 3 championship wins on the bounce and 4 straight clean sheets. Millwall host the Foxes top of the table in the second tier at the Den this weekend. Off the back of Bristol, we've had 2 days off that we definitely needed, said Edwards. There were several players in the Calman Road over the 2 days off for check-ups and assessments because we definitely picked up a fair few niggles and fatigue-related bits across the 4 games. It got to the point, particularly with the Norwich and Bristol City games, when it's that congested that you recognise making changes and freshening up is a big part of it. But also when we started building the rhythm and momentum in our play, I didn't want to tweak it too much, If you'd asked me before the 10-day period that I'll be going into Game 4 Bristol and I'd only made 2 changes between Norwich and Bristol, then I'd probably have been expecting to make more, but I chose not to, because I thought we were getting some consistency. So we probably picked up a couple of niggles off the back of it, and I think my team selection for Leicester will be as impacted by what shape we're in as much as how we want to approach the game. But for sure, the FA Cup is something we'd love to have a good run in. It's a big game against a team that's undoubtedly the best team in our division, and we want to go strong and put a competitive team out. But before I consider any tactical or rotation changes, there's definitely might be some enforced ones due to how much cost that busy period came for us. So there you go. He will be making changes. So he's letting everyone know, because of these gambling and stuff, and obviously fans buying tickets to go to the game, that there will be some changes. So fair enough. But he's trying to put it on injuries and not that we showing massive disrespect to the FA Cup like a lot of teams do now, which I think we have over the years. But there you go. So, moving on to this, also from the South London Press, London News Online.co.uk. Smells like team spirit for Millwall. A suspended George Saville travels to Bristol for Ashton Gate victory. George Saville's decision to travel with Millwall's squad for their New Year's Day game at Bristol City, despite being suspended, underlines the team spirit running through their ranks. That is the verdict of Lions head coach Joe Edwards after the experienced midfielder, red-carded in a win over Norwich City last Saturday, still made the journey to Ashton Gate and celebrated with his teammates. That just sums up the spirit right now throughout the group, Edwards told the South London Press. Sav and Coops was suspended for the Cardiff away game, and they both travelled down to that. This one was a New Year as well, so he went out of his way to come on his own. He's been at Millwall a long time across his stints, and he's a big character in the group. I know he's devastated with a red card, and now we're going to lose him. Great to see he wanted to be a big part of it, and he's got a long relationship with Hutchie, who scored the goal, and he was delighted as anyone. There are great scenes, and hopefully we can keep build on that feel-good factor we've definitely got in the group. Millwall failed to win an appeal on Saville's dismissal for bringing down John Rowe, as the Canaries player was on a counter-attack at the Den. Asked if he was surprised it was unsuccessful, Edwards said, I was. I still think it's quite harsh. We made the decision that there were elements we could see in real time why it got called the way it did. We appealed the severity of the ban, not the actual decision. We believed in that appeal, so that to see that get knocked back was disappointing. There you go. I think there's a phrase that sums up what you've seen, what happened with George Saville, and then you see with Ashley Barnes not getting a red card, and was it Williams who basically tried to throw Leonard over the advertising hoarding? No one likes us and we don't care. They do this shit to us. They've been doing this shit to us for many, many, many years, and they will keep doing it to us. And then wonder why we get upset and start throwing things at referees. But hey ho, enjoy your starburst, buddy. Have a little munch. Now, the under-21s play today. Weirdly, because, look, it's a Thursday. They don't normally play on Thursdays. They usually play on a Monday or a Tuesday. Not only that, it was the first game back, so you've really moved their dates. And I think it's discombobulated them because they had a massive defeat. Not only that, but normally when they play Charlton, they play them at the Den. So they played at the training ground. So a lot of factors not as usual in the rhythm of things that normally happen. And something abnormal happened. So Mill under-21s were beaten by Charlton Athletic In the Professional Development League on Thursday afternoon, Abdul Malik opened the scoring for the Lions early on. Yeah, we scored first after about 4 minutes. But six unanswered goals meant the Addicts left Calmont Road with all 3 points, sending Kevin Nugent's side to an extremely rare loss. Yes, we lost 6-1. 6-1! Mill will have the chance to react on Monday afternoon as they visit Swansea City. So now they've got a short turnaround. They've got to pick themselves up from this massive defeat that's come out of nowhere. Obviously, a number of factors I've just mentioned. They're playing on the Thursday, straight after Christmas. It was their first game back. There's a lot of under 18s in the squad. No first team players. SA didn't play, which suggests, as we've just mentioned, there's a rotation in the first team squad. I think SA is going to be playing, maybe starting in that game against Leicester. So there you go. So the team was Waddy, Walker, Adam Maliki, who came off at half time, and Grant, who came off at half time. So Kamal Grant has been on the bench once this season, I think. So maybe he's going to be on the bench. I think, how many subs are we allowed in the FA Cup? Is it 9 or 7? I think it might be even more. No? Or was that the League Cup? McKay. The team was Waddy, Walker, Adam Maliki, Grant, McKay, Cotton, Lawson, Baker. Oh, Baker's back. Abdul Malik and Amma Shane. And the subs was Stevenson on for Adam Maliki at half time, Howland on for Grant at half time, Massey on for Lawson at 61, and the subs not used were Evans and Matteo Chia. And Abdul Malik scored after 7 minutes, and we ended up losing 6-1. 6-1. Obviously, Charlton absolutely delighted with this. They've organised a open-top bus parade around Greenwich, and there you can see plans already well underway with top-of-the-range bus lined up. The old 636. Yes, amazing stuff. We now hear from Kevin Nugent, the manager. This is from millwallfc.co.uk. Kevin Nugent was short and sharp when discussing Millwall Under-21s Professional Development League to defeat the Charlton Fleck on Thursday afternoon. The Lions took an early lead for Abdul Malik, but were then hit for 6 as the Addicts romped home. It's a terrible day from the lads. To get beat by that scoreline by Charlton is very, very disappointing, Nugent told the millwallfc.co.uk. We had to make some changes with 3 senior players being limited in minutes today, but that's no excuse. They've got to dust themselves down very quickly and get over that result, but that's no hiding away from it. We've done very well. That's just the 3rd defeat in over 30 games. But if they get the credit, then they've got to get the home truths as well. So there you go. So he said 3 senior players being limited in minutes today. Like I said, Kamal Grant, so they were limited to 45 minutes. Maliki was limited to 45 minutes. And I guess SA was limited to 0 minutes because he wasn't even in the squad. Is that who he's talking about? So interesting stuff. How many changes will we see against Leicester? Will Malachi get a start? I don't think it's going to be that radical. I just think maybe 3 or 4 changes and then 3 or 4 subs. But we'll see. I don't know. And that now leaves, that was Mill's game in hand on QPR. So we're now tied with them. We can't catch them. I think we got to play them again. And that'll be a big game. I think that game's actually at the Den. It's scheduled to be at the Den. I think it's the next game at the Den. We've only had 1 so far this season. And I think it's the 5th of February, maybe the 5th of March. Yeah, quite a lot less games at the Den this season. I'm not sure why. But especially since we won the damn thing last season, you would think they would try and capitalise on that. I don't know, but yeah, first loss for a long time. Second loss of the season. So we lost to Charlton and we lost to Bournemouth. Bournemouth was away, Charlton was at home. Obviously not ideal that we lost 6-1 because that's -5 on a goal difference. That means we are now, obviously we've scored fewer than QPR and we've conceded more. So when you're tied with a team, see that goal difference is affecting it. But you only need to be in the top 2 to go for the next round. Obviously, you would prefer to be in the number 1 position because you get a better journey through. The number 2 team in this league will play the number 1 of the Northern League away in the semi-final. But we are Bournemouth in third have a game in hand on us, and if they win that game in hand, or they have a game in hand on us and QPR, and if they win that, they can go to number 1, and that will bump us down to number 3. But like I said, we're halfway through the season. There's a long way to go, and there are like I said, a number of factors. We've got quite a few under 18s now coming into this under 21 setup. For obviously because it's the cup game, but players not being able to play the full amount, and this is a game that was postponed. Someone decided to put it on Thursday, the 4th of January. For what reason? I don't know. I don't know who's scheduling these games. Obviously, I mentioned before in the video they messed up the schedule with the Watford game. That clashed with the FA Youth Cup game, so that wasn't ideal. And this isn't ideal either. So I don't know who's scheduling these games. But they need to do a bit of a better job. Yeah. So there you go. And on that note, thank you for watching, and bye for now.